Hi, welcome to High School Challenge 2013. We're so happy to have you here with us. This is our 36th year of producing High School Challenge at Tompkins-Cortland Community College. And as always, we have a $3,000 top prize given to us by CSEA for the team that comes out on top at the end of the matches that are occurring now on television. Let's meet the two teams. First, from Montrose, the A team. They have an A and B team here, and their A team is captained by David Koloski.
I'm David Koloski. I'm a senior at Montrose, and my favorite subjects are mathematics and chemistry.
Hello, my name is Adam Worth. I'm a senior at Montrose, and my favorite subject is history.
Hello, I'm Courtney Kimmel. I'm a senior at Montrose, and my favorite subject is literature.
Why, hello everyone. My name is Sean Regan. I am also a senior, and my favorite subject is history.
And the team from Montrose is coached by David Koloski. Now let's meet the team. Okay, let's meet the team from Elmira, Notre Dame, and their captain, Maddie Radot.
Hi everyone, my name is Maddie Radot. I'm a junior at Notre Dame High School, and my favorite color is pink.
I think she's mistaken. I am Maddie Radot, and I am a junior at Notre Dame High School, and my favorite color is pink.
I think you guys might be mistaken because I am Maddie Radot, the junior from Notre Dame High School, and my favorite color is actually magenta.
Sorry, but you guys are all wrong. My name is Maddie Radot, junior from Notre Dame High School. My favorite color is also pink.
Now these people who love their pinks and magentas, they are coached by Carol Morrell. And we're so happy to have Elmira Notre Dame back with us after a long absence, and they've been back the last 2 years and played very well every time we've seen them. So let's see what happens with these two teams playing in the quarterfinal round. We start, as always, with toss-ups. Our first one is a 5-pointer. The prizes named for him are awarded each year on December 10th.
Montrose, David.
Nobel.
Nobel is correct for 5 points rather. This 10-pointer, in the maturation model, its cisternae move from the cis to the trans phase before being degraded into vesicles. Its primary role is to process and modify molecules.
Montrose, David.
The Golgi apparatus?
Yes. For 5 points, buongiorno is colloquially translated as hello. What's the literal meaning?
Montrose, Adam.
Oh, sorry, no answer.
Okay, I'll finish it for Elmira. What's the literal meaning of this Italian phrase, buongiorno?
Notre Dame, Maddie.
Good day.
Good day is correct for 5. Both teams on the board early. This is a 10-pointer. This is equal to the derivative of angular momentum with respect to time and can also be calculated as moment of inertia times angular acceleration. Equal to the lever arm length times the perpendicular component of force. Name this quantity which causes objects to spin.
Montrose, David.
Torque.
Torque is what we're looking for, David. That's correct. For 10 points, what 3-word phrase is used to designate U.S. states which have laws prohibiting mandatory union membership?
Montrose, Adam.
Right to work.
Right to work is correct for 10. Here's a 5-pointer. In 2004, Canadian documentary filmmaker Morgan Spurlock examined the influence of the fast food industry.
Montrose, Adam.
Would that be Supersize Me?
I'll finish it. The fast food industry on American society in Super Size Me. He gained 25 pounds, existing for 1 month solely on food from which ubiquitous chain?
Notre Dame, Maddie.
McDonald's.
McDonald's is correct for 5. Here's a 5-point visual. I want you to watch your monitor and turn this visual puzzle into a common phrase.
Notre Dame, Bill.
He's sorry.
I'm sorry, no. Can you take it, Montrose? Can we see it again?
Montrose, David.
He's over it.
No, he's above reproach. For 5 points, along with delta H, it can be used to define Helmholtz and Gibbs free energies. What is this property that must be increased by any process in an isolated?
Notre Dame, Bill.
Entropy.
Entropy is correct, Bill, for 5. For 10 points, it has 10 national forests and more than 20 national wildlife refuges. 3 of the 5 entrances to Yellowstone National Park are in this state, as well as Glacier National Park and the Little Bighorn National Monument. What state is it?
Montrose Adam.
South Dakota.
It is not South Dakota. Can you take it, Elmira, Notre Dame?
Notre Dame Maddie.
Wyoming.
It is Montana. For 5 points, Goldbach's conjecture states that every even number can be written as the sum of two of these. Euclid showed that there are an infinite number.
Montrose David.
Primes.
Primes is correct, prime numbers. That brings us to the end of the first round, a well-played round. What's our score, please, Scott?
After one round, Montrose 40, Notre Dame 15.
All right, only 25 points separating the teams. Answer auction is worth 40 points, so let's see what happens here. I'll read the answer auction question for you now. In the U.S. House of Representatives, there are 14 states which are represented either by a Republican margin of 4-1 or better, or by all Republicans. How many of these very red states can you name? As they're deciding on their opening bid, we will tell the folks at home that the high bidding team must give that number of correct answers without giving an incorrect answer in order to win 40 points. If they can't do it, the other team needs to give only one answer not already given that is correct to get 20 points. If they can't do that, the original high bidder gets the 20 points. And you have opening bid, Elmira, Notre Dame. How many of those 14 states are you going to name?
One, please.
One. Can you go two, Montrose?
Yes, we will.
Will you go three?
Yes.
They'll go three. Will you go four?
Yes.
They'll go four. Will you go five?
Yes.
They'll go five. Will you go six?
No.
Give me five, Elmira, Notre Dame, for the lead.
Can you wait 1 second, Brooks?
Okay.
Thanks. All right. You ready?
Yes.
Texas. Alaska.
Sorry, no. Texas is not. Texas is about 2-1. David, give me one.
Alabama.
Alabama is correct. Alabama, Alaska, Arkansas, Idaho, Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, Montana, Nebraska, North Dakota, Oklahoma, South Carolina, South Dakota, and Wyoming. So that brings us to the end of round two. What's our score, please, Scott?
Montrose steals 20 points in the answer auction and increases their lead to 60-15 over Notre Dame.
Okay, Notre Dame, you can get going in this next round, which is toss-ups and bonuses. Answer a toss-up correctly, you get 10 points for that, and then a chance at a 20-point bonus for your team. We'll be back with that round in a moment on TC3's High School Challenge 2013. Well, we're ready for round three as soon as we get that score. Scott?
60-15 in favor of Montrose.
Okay. Let's see what happens now. If you answer a toss-up correctly, your team gets a chance at a bonus worth 20 points. And the first bonus is in the category taxonomy. Here's the toss-up for 10 points. Armadillos are the only animals other than humans which can be affected by this disease. What is this infectious disease, also called Hansen's disease, whose symptoms include severe skin lesions?
Notre Dame Maddie.
Leprosy.
Leprosy is correct, Maddie, for 10. And a chance to move closer to the lead with this taxonomy bonus. I want you to answer the following about classification of organisms from the information given. This is the number of recognized domains of organisms.
3.
3 is correct. This is the classification located directly below domain in the modern classification.
Kingdom.
That's correct. This kingdom, consisting of multicellular heterotrophs whose cells lack walls, is part of the eukarya domain.
Animal kingdom.
Yes. And finally, organisms in the eukarya domain are logically eukaryotes, which means their cells contain this organelle, unlike those of prokaryotes.
A nucleus.
That's correct.
Well done, all 20 on the bonus.
Picked up all 20. Skyscraper's the category of the next bonus, and here's the toss-up for 10 points. In February, he suggested in response to a rush on the gun market that women would be better off owning shotguns than weapons with large.
Notre Dame Bill.
Joe Biden.
Vice President Joe Biden is correct. And here's your bonus in the category skyscrapers. 35 years ago, none of its buildings ranked in the world's top 20 tallest buildings. Today, which country claims 10 of the tallest 20 skyscrapers on Earth?
China.
That's correct. For 5 more points, by law, no structure in our nation's capital may be taller than what obelisk?
The Washington Monument.
That's correct. On the list of the world's tallest building, which is by far the oldest?
The Empire State Building.
That is correct. And finally, at 828 meters, the Burj Khalifa in what largest city in the
Dubai.
United? That's correct.
All 20 again on the bonus.
Dictators, the category of the next bonus. Here's the toss-up for 10. Ghosts, Peer Gynt, Hedda Gabler, and A Doll's House are all dramas written by what Norwegian playwright?
Montrose Courtney.
Ibsen?
That's correct. Ibsen is the way it's usually pronounced, but we'll accept that. Here's your dictators bonus, Montrose. I want you to name these dictators based on the descriptions I give you. He was once renowned as a champion of the anti-colonial cause in Africa, but his policies have led to widespread decline and human rights violations in Zimbabwe. Captain, you
Robert
can
Mugabe.
Robert Mugabe is correct.
Sorry.
After 1991, when evidence from the archives became available, he was held responsible for almost 3 million deaths while he led the USSR.
Stalin.
Stalin is correct. He first won acclaim fighting diseases in his native Haiti, but was responsible for the murders of approximately 30,000 of his countrymen while he was president for life.
Jean-Claude Duvalier.
More specific.
Jean-Claude Duvalier.
I'm sorry, no. It's Francois Papadoc Duvalier. By some accounts, his was the most oppressive regime in the Soviet bloc. After the December 1989 revolution, he and his wife were executed by a Romanian firing squad outside Bucharest.
Ceausescu.
Ceausescu is correct.
That's 15 for Montrose on the bonus.
Well done. The Arabian Nights, the category of the final bonus. Here's the toss-up for 10. Of Norway, Sweden, Denmark, and Finland, which is the largest in area?
Notre Dame Jason.
Norway.
I'm sorry, no. Can you take it, Montrose?
Montrose Adam.
Finland?
No, it's not Finland either. It's Sweden. Still playing for that Arabian Nights bonus for 10 points. Although Adrian Peterson made a tremendous comeback from a serious knee injury, who won the AP's Comeback Player of the Year award in 2012?
Montrose Sean.
Peyton Manning.
Peyton Manning is correct, Sean, for 10 points. And here's your Arabian Nights bonus. What character tells the 1001 stories one a night to prevent her husband, the king, from killing her?
Shirazad.
Scheherazade is correct. Which character in one of her stories picks up a lamp with 2 resident genies?
Aladdin.
Aladdin is correct. Which of her characters describes his 7 voyages, including one where he meets the Cyclops and one where he gets diamonds from a roc's egg?
Sinbad.
Sinbad is correct. And finally, the cave where the 40 thieves hid their loot is opened for Ali Baba by what 2-word phrase?
Open Sesame.
Open Sesame is correct.
All 20 points for Montrose.
All right, both teams playing extremely well, especially in this bonus round. Let's see what happens in our next round, which is categories. But first, let's find out what the score is.
It's very close. Montrose 115, Notre Dame 75.
Okay, that means that Notre Dame, you're 40 points behind, but that can be made up rapidly in this next round, which is the category round. Teams will get a chance to choose one of 4 categories and try to answer 10 questions in the category. Categories are Heads, I Win, Tails, You Lose, Double Talk, and Philosophers. We'll be back to see which categories they choose and how well they do with them on TC3's High School Challenge 2013. Scott, is that score official?
Yes, it is. 115 to 75 in favor of Montrose going into the 62nd round.
Very well played through the first 3 rounds. Elmira, Notre Dame, you have the choice of the categories. Heads, I win. Tails, you lose. Double Talk and Philosophers. What are you choosing, Maddie?
We will be taking philosophers.
Philosophers. Okay, I'm going to ask you to name the famous philosophers I will describe for you. Ready with the timer? Start the timer, please. A 17th century Englishman who denied the divine right of kings.
John Locke.
Yes. A Renaissance Italian whose philosophy was strictly political.
Machiavelli.
Yes. A 19th century Dane whose religious philosophy is part of the basis for existentialism.
Bill's going to say it.
Yes. An 18th century German known for his critiques.
Nietzsche.
No. No. A 17th century Frenchman who relied on reason to explain the workings of the universe.
Jacques Rousseau.
No. A 19th century lawyer and orator who was the most famous agnostic of all time.
Huxley.
No. An ancient Greek philosopher whose dialogues include symposium.
Socrates.
No. A 17th century Dutchman who espoused pantheism and made telescopes for a living.
No. Pass.
The first and greatest Chinese philosopher.
Confucius.
Yes. A 2nd century Roman emperor and philosopher who wrote Meditations.
Seneca.
We've run out of time.
That's 40 points for Notre Dame.
Picked up 40 on a pretty tough category. Montrose a chance to steal 60 if you can get these immediately. An 18th century German known for his critiques. Captain?
Kant.
Kant is correct. A 17th century Frenchman who relied on reason to explain the workings of the universe.
Descartes.
Descartes is correct. A 19th century lawyer and orator who was the most famous agnostic of all time.
No answer.
That was Ingersoll. An ancient Greek philosopher whose dialogues include symposium.
Plato.
Plato's correct. A 17th century Dutchman who espoused pantheism and made telescopes for a living.
Spinoza.
Spinoza is correct. And finally, a 2nd century Roman emperor and philosopher who wrote Meditations.
Marcus Aurelius.
Marcus Aurelius is correct.
5 out of the 6 second chance points for 50 points.
Okay, you picked up a lot of points on their category. David, what are you choosing for your own?
We'll take heads I win.
Heads I win, okay? Remember that a head is in quotation marks. Are you ready? Ready with the timer? Start the timer, please. What program was designed to bring underprivileged preschoolers up to speed?
Head Start.
Yes. What's the British equivalent of a school principal?
Headmaster.
Yes. What nickname is given to people who recruit upper-level managers for business?
Headhunter.
Yes. Most states have laws that you must do what while driving in the rain?
Headlights. Have your headlights on.
Yes. Who supposedly haunted Sleepy Hollow?
The Headless Horseman.
Yes. What is the compass point toward which a boat or plane is moving?
Heading.
Yes. What cold cut features part of a hog's head?
Head cheese.
Yes. What is the center of military operations?
Headquarters.
Yes. What's displayed above a newspaper article?
Headline.
Yes. And what word is a synonym for progress?
Headway.
Headway is correct. You ran the category.
That
Well
is
done.
number 7 in 35 years for
That's
a team.
right. And
running
that's an
off.
extra 20 points, right, Scott?
Yes, so 120 points for Montrose there.
That brings us to the end of round 4. Scott, what is our official score, please?
After that 62nd round, it is 285 to 115 in favor of Montrose.
All right, still not out of it, Notre Dame. Hundreds and hundreds of points coming up in our final round, which is nothing but 10 and 15-point toss-ups. We'll be back with that round in a moment on TC3's High School Challenge 2013. Scott, is our score official?
Yes, it is. Montrose A, 285. Notre Dame, 115.
All right, let's see what happens with this final round, which is tough toss-ups. We start with a 15-pointer. In March of 1849, this territory applied for U.S. statehood under the name Deseret, but was turned down because
Montrose, Adam.
Utah.
Utah is what we're asking for. Yes, the behavior that they got turned down for was polygamy, but they are in now. For 15 points, Monty Python's Flying Circus used his 7-part work À la recherche du temps perdu as the basis for a satire on television quiz shows. Who was this French author?
Notre Dame, Maddie.
Victor Hugo.
I'm sorry, no. Can you take it, Montrose?
Montrose, Courtney.
Proust.
Proust, in his first book, wrote about. Yes, that's correct. For 10 points. The quiz show, by the way, was called Summarizing Proust. For 10 points. They were named Larry and Vince, and they spent 15 years reminding America to buckle up. In 1988, a Canadian rock band, which would become famous for their
Montrose, Adam.
Crash Test Dummies.
That's what we were looking for, Adam. Crash Test Dummies. For 10 points, this audio toss-up, I want you to listen and name the solo instrument and the period of classical music history it represents. Well, that's probably not it. We're gonna just skip that one. Yeah, that's not a Baroque flute. Remind me to check these before we go on. For 10 points. In 1950, he was the first person to win the Nobel Peace Prize for work in mediating the ongoing conflict between the State of Israel and its neighbors, and the first African American to win any Nobel Prize. Who was he?
In time, Notre Dame Maddie.
I'm sorry, no. Desmond Tutu was a South African.
Oh well.
Montrose, can you take it? This is a tough 10-pointer, certainly. Question is, the answer is Ralph Bunche. For 15 points, I want to know, what is the measure in degrees of each interior angle of a regular decagon? The measure in degrees of each interior angle of a regular decagon will give you another 15 seconds to figure that out.
Notre Dame Maddie.
36 degrees.
I'm sorry, no. Can you take it, Montrose?
Montrose David.
144 degrees.
That's correct, David, for 15. Here's a 10-pointer. Cook Strait separates the two islands which make up which one-time British possession in the southwest Pacific Ocean?
Notre Dame Jason.
What are Australia and New Zealand?
I'm sorry, no. Can you take it, Montrose? The answer is New Zealand. It's just a one-time British possession. For 15 points, in 1977, Cale Yarborough successfully defended his Winston Cup championship. In doing so, he also accomplished what feat? Something no NASCAR driver had ever done during an entire season before that.
Notre Dame Maddie.
Won all of the races.
No, I'm sorry. Can you take it, Montrose?
Montrose David.
Not taking any pit stops.
No, he finished every race. He didn't crash once or have his car go bad or anything. For 15 points, an author, poet, cartoonist, and playwright who was a regular contributor to Playboy magazine penned the children's classic The Giving Tree.
Notre Dame Bill.
Dr. Seuss.
I'll finish it. And also wrote the Johnny Cash.
Montrose Courtney.
Shel Silverstein.
That is correct. Also wrote the Johnny Cash mega hit A Boy Named Sue. Here's a 15-pointer. By binding to receptors in plasma membranes of uninfected cells, they prevent viral infection inside infected cells via a signaling pathway. What are these antimicrobial proteins that increase resistance of neighboring...
Montrose David.
Antibodies.
I'm sorry, I'll finish it. Increase resistance of neighboring cells to infection once one cell has become infected.
Notre Dame Bill.
T cells.
No, they're interferons. For 10 points, if you get one master's degree, you have to write a master's thesis. To get 2 master's degrees, you have to write 2. What's the plural of thesis?
Montrose David.
Theses.
Theses is correct for 10. For 15 points, the first 2 centuries of the Roman Empire were an unprecedented period of stability and prosperity.
Notre Dame Jason.
The Pax Romana.
Pax Romana is what we're looking for. And that brings us to the end of round 5 and the end of the match. What's our final score, Scott?
Well, the defending champions from Montrose have shown they're not giving up their trophy without a fight. 365 to 130, they return to the semifinals.
All right, well played, both teams, and we'll be back to validate the score and say goodbye to our friends on TC3's High School Challenge 2013. Score officially is, Scott?
Yes, in a game that was much, much closer than the final score indicates. 365 to 130, Montrose returns to the semifinals with a win over Notre Dame.
It's absolutely true. Very, very well played match, and Montrose trying to make sure that the trophy goes back to Pennsylvania and doesn't go to any New York school. We thanks Elmira and Notre Dame for coming up again and competing. A nice job. And Montrose, you're going on to face the winner of the Ithaca Montrose B match. I'm sure you're hoping that it will be Montrose B. It's a team from your own school. Thanks for watching High School Challenge. We hope you'll be back with us again next time. Bye-bye.